I've begun riding my bike more frequently, as many of you are aware, for better or for worse. And before some folks, I was a runner and a rollerblader, and I never really experienced some of the issues that bike riders had to face in the community until I actually did it myself. And it is really unsafe out there on many of the roads. And it's not just a matter of staying on the right side of the road. I've had people literally drive off the road yelling at me for riding a bike. I have had people throw things at me. These are not atypical stories.
Maybe the constituents were mad at you.
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, they knew who I was, exactly. There's that joker with no pedal. When it comes to these sorts of things, I think the future of our community is in multimodal transportation. We talk about expanding, our public transit service. We want to get more ridership. That's one thing with that. Those buses weigh more and put more wear and tear on the roads. We talk about cars and parking, and that's certainly important, but I don't think the wave of the future is going to be cars and automobiles. The couple times I've had to work with Jim on some parking issues, we definitely take into concern some of the parking issues on where people are, what do the residents need in those older neighborhoods. And being the alderman representing an older neighborhood, we do have people who don't have driveways and do need to park on the street. And in many cases, we can't make everybody happy, but we do often come to a resolution. If I had my way, and I'm just one alderman, I would love to see more bike lanes throughout the community. I think if we ever do any kind of work anywhere, we should be allowing for space for bikes. Whenever we go to these conferences or I visit other communities in the country, LA, Phoenix come to mind, DC, they have bike lanes. They want to encourage people to do that. It actually is a better way of getting people around, more effective. I ride my bike to work every day. It's not just for recreational uses. And it's been, there's been some unsafe moments. I think it's a small investment that we can make to put long-term safety of our residents. And I think it's the future. And we need to do everything that we can to make that happen. As for the funding, I've been a pretty vocal, I loathe the motor fuel tax for a lot of reasons. I think it's an unfair mechanism that doesn't necessarily fund the things that we want it to in the way that we need it to. And eventually it's going to be skyrocketing as we continue to hear out of Congress. But it's something that we have right now. It's one tool. But I think that there is definitely a community investment that goes into this. And I don't think it's a small minority of people. I think there's a growing number of people. I was riding my bike on the trail this weekend a couple different times, and it was packed with people on their bikes. And, that's one way of getting people from point A to point B. But the trail is limited access. When I try to cross Veterans Parkway that's south of Washington, forget it. I mean, it's just not safe. And we need to be putting, to me, public safety is number one, and this is one way we can do it, and at the cost of a little bit of paint. Having ridden down Prairie and on Front Street with the Sharrows, it's been a lot safer, and people know where I am, and I know where they are, and I'd rather be comfortable than not, and I think residents would agree. So those are my thoughts.
Thanks. Just as we'll only take about 30 seconds, but just to reiterate, whenever we're at the International City Management Association, the National League of Cities, U.S. Conference of Mayors, and in international, this is what's happening throughout most of the rest of the world. It's not just the future of Bloomington; it's the future of urban centers throughout the world. Right. And regardless of contrary thoughts, that's happening. Go ahead, Alderman Fruin.